Good night, Miss. Today I'm going to expose to you the environmental impact in India. So, first of all, I'm going to tell you some characteristics of the country. For example, India is the seventh country with the most land extension in the world and the second with most population, with 1,240 million of people. India take up a big part of the Asian Southwest and limit with countries such as Pakistan, China, Bangladesh, Nepal, Bhutan, and Burma. Its capital is New Delhi, and its most populated region is Bombay. Now, the economy. Since remote times, India had been guiding their economy with socialist tendencies until 1991, when the market economy was included in the system. This sorry, since remote times, India have been guiding their economy with socialist tendencies, but was just until 1991 when the market economy included included in the system. This this capitalist model allowed the arrival of the industries and the primary sector explosion, such as the agriculture or farming, which represents the 28% of the GDP of India. Also, India, since that age, has been having a faster economic growth. In spite of this growth, India is a country that has a higher global tax of malnutrition, just under sub-Saharan Africa. Respect the environmental problems. The last year, the WHO posted that New Delhi is now the city with the most air pollution in the world, and that this air is reducing the life of the Indian people in about 3 to 5 years. What different NGOs think is that the problem radiates in the negligence of the authorities that don't implement the laws and continue allowing the entry of industries that are damaging the environment. Also, the polluting problem is a consequence of any under. Also, the polluting problem is a consequence of any underdeveloped country that doesn't let the technology into the susceptible parts of the society. In this case, the Indian population. So they need to live their life with rustic tools for surviving. For example, the most of the Indian people have been using manumia and stalk ovens since they were prehistoric communities. Moreover, they are using kerosene, that it's combustible, a fossil combustible, that it's very dangerous, and they are making some lamps with this combustible that are so unfriendly with the environment. Not until the government wants uh, will the con not until the government wants the country will the country sorry, not until the government wants will the country improved and will allow sorry again, not until the government wants will the country improve, and they will just allow that when they will have been colonizing by some first world country such as England or United States. Now I'll talk you about the Bhopal catastrophe. That was a catastrophe that that generates big impact in the environment in India. Okay, it was in Bhopal, India, in December 2nd of 1984, where the tragedy occurred, and happened because of an accident in the Union Carbide plant of a North American industry that produced pesticides, in which a tube broke down, generating an escape of gas that, with the contact with the air, increased its pressure, broken the other tubes faster. 30 tons of poisonous gases uh, go go in all the directions and were released in all the environment. Those gases have been generating for about 3 decades genetical transformations, and it is supposed that the effects will have been lasting for more than 15 decades. Nowadays, the water and in general the environment is contaminated in a 57% in Bhopal, India, and in different towns near this region. Um, Finally, my proposal for reducing the pollution reducing the pollution in India. Okay, here in this part, I reduce my proposal in three different ways. The first one it's changing the habits and educating the people, because I think that generate consciousness in everyone is the main fact that will reduce every worst environmental fact. The second one is the industrial laws and regulation at national level, because as I told you before, the negligence authority in the authority allows and incentive the production of pollution generated by the industries with any country. Um, an example is the Bhopal catastrophe, because the Union Carbide plant was a North American industry that, for not following the correct laws and the different process of maintaining the plant, one tube broke down. So it caused a big catastrophe in a country that was not of them. And finally, is the third proposal is the using of cleaning technologies such as hydroelectrics, that in the future will have been being used by every country open to the change. So if India doesn't invest in the production of different alternative technologies for cleaning their environment, everything is going to fall down, because are in those technologies that their their situation can be solved. So that's my point, and that was my presentation. I hope you like it, and goodbye, miss.